G'day, folks. So we are here in the beer garden at the Old Canberra Inn, and we are joined by a friend of the show, David Mitchelhill-Green, author, historian, and currently PhD student. David, hello.
Hello, Rob. Hello, John. How are we?
Yeah. Good. And David's just been to Alamein and the Jordanian Tank Museum, and we're now going to run you through what he found there. So we'll switch over to that, and hope you've enjoyed this little view of the beer garden. So, David, what are we looking at?
So this is our first stop. This is Alamein, and there's a small armoured museum there. Let's call it the military museum. Mm-hmm. There's a handful of relics. So before we head off to the main museum, let's look at this, and then we'll head off to Jordan. But you walk through the entry gates, and there are two Italian pieces. The first one here, the Italian self-propelled gun.
Mm-hmm. Roll away. There we go.
Semiventi 7518.
That's right.
And 75 mil gun, and they built it in 1918. No, that can't be right. It was 18 tons. 18 tons.
18 tons.
That's
yeah.
What it was.
Is that a 75 mil gun though? I mean, that looks huge.
75 mil gun.
Okay. All right. There we go.
I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I could be totally wrong.
Yep.
So yeah, it's relic status.
Mm-hmm. Is that an ACAT gun or an AT gun?
Bit of both.
I'm wondering, is that the Italian 90 mil, or sorry, I should know, but
wouldn't be
is it the?
It would be something close to it.
Yeah, maybe we'll chop that one out and just stick to tanks. Yeah.
You can always spot the Caro Armata from the double-dacker machine guns.
Yeah.
The 8mm double 8mm guns, machine guns.
And that's probably the highlight in terms of armor in the museum.
Mm-hmm.
So that says a lot.
It doesn't even have a kangaroo painted on the side though.
No, it was tempting to get a.
I love how the front
texture out,
the more rivets you can poke a stick.
Yeah, but the front wheel's got a real FT17 vibe to it, and I like the leaf springs, and then I love the way they had the two slowest machine guns in the world, because they were reinserting the spent brass back into the magazines, which was very litter friendly of them, but so then they had to put two in there to get a decent cyclic rate of fire. Yeah,
crazy
a strange piece of design.
Missing kangaroos, as you pointed out.
Yeah, which that's because the Australian, particularly the 9th Infantry Division, operated a bunch of captured of these Caro Armatas. Yeah.
Yeah, post the capture of Bardia, and they used them in the capture of.
Still had one of the better guns at the beginning of the war, though, with the I think it was a 45 or 47 millimeter gun.
47.
Yeah, I'll say that. So it was one of the better anti-tank guns for the start of the war.
If it had a high explosive round, it was better than anything the British were building until much later in the war. So,
well, with the Charlotte Sot 2-pounder. Yeah. Anyway, so let's move on. There's some Italian artillery. There's an Auto Blinder 41 armored car, I think.
What?
There you go. Racing across the desert to one side to the other.
As long as the sand is exactly the right sort of sand. Yeah.
Another 3/4 shot. Yeah, that's a more recent relic. I think that's supposed to be a. Once was a Spitfire.
Yeah, right.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's a Merlin there, but that's a bit sad.
That's a big piece of artillery. So
it's a German, 15 centimeter?
Yeah.
German half track.
I love how the Alamein Museum, they've all been blown to crap in the actual war.
They have been.
These are the wrecks that were flying around the town.
It's great.
And what's that, a German 10.5 centimeter howitzer?
Yeah. That's nice.
That's a big one.
Yeah, so that's that French, it's the Schlepper, so the 15 centimeter conversion. So that is nice.
And there we go. Lee or Grant, we want to say.
So we got a Grant there.
There you go.
You're looking at the turret.
Yep. Sort of a hatch on the side. Yep.
So front on. And what another wreck, another relic, probably a Mark 6 light tank.
Oh, I think it was Mark 6.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Okay, yep.
God knows how. Well, I mean, I know they were used in North Africa, but yeah, I guess they left them there too.
they got, a lot of them obviously got blown up because that was the main part of it.
That was what they did. They got blown up.
And left behind.
And harsh language, boom.
And what wasn't scrapped, they sort of retrieved. So That's a Crusader, but when I was first at this museum back in 1989, it was labelled German Panzer. But
they must have seen one of the Australian war movies that used them as
anything as a German tank, but it's subsequently retitled it as a Crusader.
I imagine a few people let them know the area of the weights on that one.
This one will test you.
Is that an M2?
It's a fantasy universal carrier with a Stuart turret.
Right.
Okay, so it's got an M3 light tank turret on it. They built it on some sort of roof onto the top of
I have seen
universal carrier.
I've seen a lot of carriers looking like little tanks in the past, and that's probably the best of them. But yeah,
so there's a Sherman.
There's a Sherman, CMP, Canadian military pattern truck, a couple of 17-pounders, which would have been post-war Egyptian that they've set up.
Tracks of some sort?
Yeah, so American half track. But first time I was here, that was also labelled as a German transport vehicle or something. But
I do love the armoured louvers on the
front.
Yeah, for the radiator. I've always thought that was a great. It seems like a great invention, but you've actually got to remember to raise and lower your louvers at the right time.
If you're driving uphill, you want to keep the engine cool.
I think this is a Egyptian post-war armoured truck chassis thing that used based on a CMP, but it certainly wasn't a wartime
It looks
vehicle.
like a horrible British thing to me, but yeah. It's, another big gun.
17-pounder again.
6.
So it's a 6-pounder.
Yeah,
and that's an 88.
That's
right?
an 88.
Yep.
Oh yeah, 88, and it was also used by the United States.
Maybe, sure, at some point.
I find this interesting, a Russian 76.2 millimeter anti-tank gun, which obviously captured on the Eastern Front and then taken out. And
well, the Germans did capture so many of the 76 mil guns that they were mounting them on their own their own tanks and so forth, and saying, "What do we do with these things?" So we're obviously spreading them around.
So pressed into service in North Africa. So another shot of that. Okay, a couple of Pack 50s.
What's the thing in the background?
Pack 38, I should say, 5 centimeter.
That's a Cuirassier? No, that's a Sherman with a
oscillating turret.
So not even
an AMX-13 turret on a Sherman, which we did hear about, but yeah, wow. Okay.
So that's probably what a relic of the 73
Suez
war.
Crisis? Or...
Suez, yeah.
Cool.
Wow, okay.
But, you know, it's a bit of an odd relic to be featured
it's a funny-looking tank. It's got a Robotech turret on a World War II chassis.
Not even another Super 51s? No.
Another shot of the Pack 38. Just panoramic shot.
I like the palm tree. That's a nice touch. Yeah.
But actually, what you can see in the background is new Alamein. And so the whole of the coastline, which was once obviously desert, and I remember reading stories of Australian soldiers who'd wander across between battles and fish with grenades and so forth. It's like a resort now, pretty much the whole way from Alexandria on the 2-hour drive out to Alamein. So it's all been built up.
It's a coastal strip.
It's a coastal strip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whereas the first time I went there many years ago, it felt like a war museum on a battlefield.
Yeah, right.
But that sort of, that feeling is well gone.
Yeah, people need places to live though. So.
Yeah.
And holiday.
Well, holiday. There's a whole series of reliefs on the wall, and they get more and more fictitious as you go along.
Yeah, right.
In particular, in armour, I think you can see Rommel with his supposedly a Panzer. Yeah.
But those bogies, it definitely looks like a ship.
And then, Commander Evan Rommel. And then there's a P40, which was a relic, and they restored it. And in some ways, I wish they kept it as a relic and kept it inside rather than restoring it and keeping it outside in the weather. But that's one for the purists. You can see there the state they found it in. that's an example of what the backdrop of what was once a battlefield is now a coastal resort.
Those huge apartment blocks, they're going up everywhere.
R88, it's the front of the museum. And now we're in Jordan.
Okay.
Right. Tell us about the Jordanian Tank Museum.
This is the museum that exists because the King of Jordan was a tanker. And
he was a tanker. And so I think the museum was inaugurated in January 2018 at a cost, I think it was $1 billion or so it's cited. So it's enormous.
It's the money you can spend when you're the king, I guess.
And you're a tanker. And
But just remember, Jordan doesn't have the oil money of all the other Arab states around there. So they're relying a lot more on tourism.
There's a lot of goat herders who've paid a lot of tax, and the king's putting their...
they're relying a lot more on tourism, so building a tourist attraction.
Is it a tourist attraction? How many tourists did you see in your day there, David?
So I was there. I was number one, lining up at the gate at 10 a.m. when it opened, and I think I was the only person I saw until the end of the day when there was a group of soldiers, Jordanian soldiers, being shown through.
Yeah.
But in terms of income, I did learn that I think it's tourism potash is one of their top income earners.
So mining, great.
So mining, yeah.
All right, what is in the museum though, David? Give us the tour.
This enormous museum, which I think as they say, it took more than 10 years to build, and there's around about 110 individual exhibits. So it's impressive. And so it's up there with the great armour museums of the world. So let's walk inside. I think what strikes you, the first exhibit, we'll come back to that.
And for those who want to know, that's not the Universal tank from the Indiana Jones movie Last Crusade, but close to it.
So a replica Mark I. On a diorama. And it's not called a replica, but it's nicely portrayed, and you can see it's crushing a little
it's
a post here.
Trenches,
some trenches.
That's always important to do in your tank.
Take that, you Turks. I'm guessing.
Germans. It's Germans, yeah.
Germans, but they were there assisting the Turks. All of the Ottoman Empire.
And they also served. Was it Mark I's in Gaza?
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, what I thought was really cool was there's a mock-up of the Da Vinci tank.
Yep. Now, before we started recording, I did say if you're actually going to do the first tank, it's not Da Vinci's little sketches, it's the chariot, where you had protection, firepower, and mobility all in one package. But
2 horsepower.
2 horsepower.
2 horsepower, and particularly from a Jordanian Middle East perspective.
Yeah, the Hittites were, roaming up and down. It's,
exactly.
I mean, the one thing with your ancient chariots is it's almost certain they were only mobile on roads. You can't see them bouncing too fast across,
the desert wastelands.
Yeah,
but during Bronze Age warfare, it was before the Bronze Age collapsed. They were
being able to go fast up a road and seize a position is very valuable.
They were the elite of the elites. Your nobleman was spending half their fortunes to get their chariot made or something like that. For those who want to know, Da Vinci's sketches, 15th century, he came up with this round thing with cannons sticking out of the side of it, saying this is going to be my tank.
With an idea for an idea, but no actual propulsion. An idea for propulsion.
I was wondering what was the propulsion? What was proposed?
Oh, it had wheels on the bottom.
Well, I think it was some sort of pedal powered thing. But I mean, the funny thing with Da Vinci is we talk about the Mona Lisa and we talk about his drawings of helicopters. The thing that he did that revolutionized the world was that he built a machine that would produce screws. And it was designed in a way that it cancelled out errors, so it would create reproducible screws, and then wooden screws. So a screw cutting machine, a wooden screw cutting machine.
Wow!
That then let you, instead of chocking wedges into things, to be like, no, we're going to do 3/4 of a turn. But anyway, sorry, I digress. Let's
Speaking of helicopters in the back there, we've got an Apache.
We've
got an Apache hanging overhead.
Is that an Apache or a Cobra?
Oh.
I reckon it's a Super Cobra, but
I'll defer to the aviation buffs.
I'm not an aviation buff, but I don't think it's an Apache. I'm sure someone in the comments will let us know, though.
But chariots aside, I thought that's a nice way to tell the story of the evolution of the tank.
Yeah.
Back to
the diorama of the Mark I. Yep.
And there's a cutaway inside, which is nice.
Yep.
Showing the 17 people who might have been involved.
I think 11 in those ones. Anyway.
I think maybe it was the A7V that had the 17.
Yeah.
So I think they had 8, but when the Germans captured them and put them into operation,
they put more in.
They put 12 in. Yeah. That's just a field gun. Anyway, here's our first piece of proper tank, and it's a Russian T60 light tank.
Yeah, right.
So we've seen those up at Cairns, but they have the double turrets.
Yeah, right. Okay. Beautiful. Yeah, it looks a bit different from that angle, doesn't it? But, yep.
There was our Cheningelet, the ammunition carrier by the French.
And in the foreground, what a Cardinaloid tankette.
Oh, is it Cardinaloid rather than Cheningelet?
And I think the Cheningelet's maybe there behind it.
Okay. Maybe I've got that totally wrong. There you go.
Anyway, the iconic FT.
There's the FT.
Yep.
That's a Krupp 7.5 centimeter field gun, which obviously the Turks used. And then we have the Model T, which
pretty important.
Pretty important. I think it was the most commonly produced car until 1972.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Most numerous car.
I do like Henry Ford's thing that if people can have the Model T in any colour they want, as long as they want black.
As long as it's black.
Yeah.
He also gave us the weekend so we could go out and buy his cars and actually do something with them. Yeah. But we won't talk about all these other... We won't talk about all the other things he did.
Anyway, this was used, you can see it's obviously with a Vickers machine gun in the Arab Revolt.
Yeah, Cardinaloid tankette.
Cardinaloid, yeah.
Panzer I.
Okay.
It was B.
It really was amazing they went from that to the Tiger II within
a matter
years.
of really months.
It took a little bit longer than that.
Yeah. It was still pretty quick.
It was pretty quick. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
You're just saying that because we've been sticking with the Abrams and the Leopard 2s for the last 50 years.
Forever. But I'm more saying this is a ludicrous machine that is barely fit for purpose, and then they were making really impressive tanks very quickly on from it.
So when was this introduced? Say 34?
34, 36, something like that. We haven't done an episode on them yet.
No, we haven't. Yeah, I think they used Panzer Is in the Spanish Civil War as well. But it's still this idea that everyone had. I mean, look at the American, the M2 medium, that machine guns were the decisive weapon, and then
that's all you needed.
And then people were like, no, actually, high explosive is much more interesting than lots of lead.
Bunkers and trenches stop lead. HE goes boom.
Although I have read one school of thought that it's one of the most underrated tanks of the war because it was the most numerous tank at the start of...
We made that argument about the Panzer II.
Yeah, Panzer II was much more likely.
Yeah.
Because they stopped production of the Panzer I pretty quick, and when they were trying to get the Panzer IIIs out, they still hadn't got the system sorted out, so they produced a lot more Panzer IIs, so it had a lot of numbers, but
anyway, David, that is a beautiful photo of Panzer II, I've got to say. So well done.
Yeah, this is your...
This is one of those, captured French vehicles. And it's dressed up as being, from the 21st Panzer Division. I'm not sure, but I thought they had 3 bogies on the side. Maybe there was a post-war production continued. Maybe that's the case. Maybe someone can write that in the comments. But
sure.
And of course, the Panzer 38T, which you've done an episode on recently.
Yeah. It's interesting from that angle. It doesn't look as tinky and tiny as they actually look. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny perspective. It does look larger, and obviously to its right is supposed to be supposedly a Panzer III. However,
that's a long gun Panzer III. It's Panzer IV, right?
Well, no, it's a replica based on what's it? The UK.
The FE 432, something like that.
Something like that, and you can see the padded tracks. Always a giveaway, but
yeah. Okay, sorry.
And it is a much longer gun.
Yeah.
I don't remember a Panzer III ever having a gun quite that long.
No, not that long. That was what was really throwing me. Yeah. Okay, and obviously, the turret isn't a Panzer IV. I apologise, but
to all intents and purposes, it's advertised as a Panzer III.
No, they got that wrong. But that's all right. That's all right. They can they can work through these things.
So next we have a KV-1.
Now,
where did they get a KV-1 from?
I don't know. That's amazing. So this is the Russian heavy tanks at the beginning of the war.
Yep.
And with the
gifted, I would imagine, from
I don't know. There you go.
German half track. But there's another shot of the KV-1.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's
a nice example.
Yeah.
Followed by Stuart.
Is it?
Just the paint.
It's a funny paint job.
Yeah, in desert camouflage.
Yeah, it doesn't have its hatches up either, which is how I
with the
identify.
Desert Rats insignia.
So it's the M3 Stuart.
Mm-hmm.
Next to a Crusader.
There we go. Lots of rivets.
Again, more rivets and a 2-pounder.
Stupidest tank.
Doesn't have the cooling vents on the front of the tank.
No, they were down the back.
I know, but no, the first. I think wasn't the first version.
No, you can see it on there. It's down the rear quarter there, and it's where all the dust gets kicked up by the track straight into the that breathing vent there. But anyway, Lord Nuffield, I have my suspicions. So did J.R.R. Tolkien. Anyway,
and a Valentine.
Which mark of Valentine is that?
Well, it's only got the 2-pounder, so
okay,
it's one of the early ones.
So apparently, I was just reading today. The Tank Museum was saying that I think the Valentine 9s, if you see them welded, not riveted, that means it actually came out of a Vickers factory, not a sub-assembly facility. But anyway.
Okay.
That's not related to this one. It's obviously riveted, but yeah.
Again.
Another shot of the Valentine.
That's the best looking of Valentine's ever looked, but yeah. Okay, cool.
Panzer IV.
Panzer IV, short barrel.
With the
74.
short gun, yeah.
Short barrel 75.
So.
Yep. Beautiful. They've really got the sexy lighting out for the Panzer IV, don't they?
With a multicolored background, the backdrop there. And Lloyd Carrier.
Yep.
Next to a Grant.
Yeah, Grant. They got a wheel on the front. I don't think I've seen a Grant with a
road wheel mounted on the front.
Yeah.
No. I mean, why not?
Yeah. Got to be somewhere, I guess. But fitting 7 people inside of that.
And continuing our line of British vehicles, we have Matilda.
2.
Yeah, Matilda 2.
Those mud chutes are instantly recognisable. And that beautiful
Queen of the Desert.
The Queen of the Desert.
Now, I reckon that's the actual, what do they call it? The Chauncey colour scheme that Bovington stuffed up by making it sky blue. Because everyone's always said it was actually more sort of slate grey. Anyway, I'm interested to see that colour.
You're talking about what's on the turret rather than the hull there? Or?
No, both actually. In that they're a more muted shade. But yeah, interesting. So the turret does seem to have a different colour scheme to the
hull.
To the hull, yeah. Cool.
Sexton?
A Sexton, but wow. I'm looking at the tracks and they look decidedly German to me.
They do. They do. What's going on there?
Sexton's is that a 25-pounder gun or yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Sexton with a 25-pounder gun. Oops. Again, those the German tracks and a Sherman.
Yeah.
Very spooky.
It is a spooky vibe on this one.
I was going to say they've spent a lot of money on the lighting to make these tanks look even more eye-poppingly gorgeous. Because much as I'm not dissing cans, but it's the big yellow light in cans. It's not the best for photographing things, and they've set this up for you beautifully.
Well, there's no mood lighting in cans. Yeah.
Yep. Ooh, what do we got there?
Comet.
So we come now to our Comet and our Cromwell.
So that's the Comet with the 17-pounder and the Cromwell beside it with the 6-pounder.
Comet's not 17-pounder. Comet's the high velocity 77 mil.
Sorry, yeah, 76 millimeter.
It's very unfair to put them next to each other, though, because obviously the Comet actually had the gun that was meant to go in Cromwell until they stuffed it up. But yeah.
And I'm looking at this vehicle, and they also look like German tracks.
I think they had an excess of German tracks, and they said, you know what?
I'm surprised they could get them around the road wheels, but they seem to have. So.
They're obviously static displays rather than driving.
Than running. Yeah, well, you never know what the King's up to. All right.
And then we have a later model, Panzer IV.
Yep, that looks like a Panzer IV. I like the Scherzen on that one.
Yeah, the Scherzen look
long barrel 75.
Mm-hmm.
And in the background, obviously, our 88 millimeter. Pack flak.
Mm-hmm. Good looking one. You must have been going through here with all this moody lighting going, this is so good.
By myself.
Yeah.
And it's huge. Like, I think I was almost kicked out at closing time. Like, it's a big museum.
So that's a Churchill we're looking at now.
That's a Churchill?
Yeah. With the stupid hatch on the side of the tracks. Yeah.
Escape hatch.
Mm-hmm.
And then we come to a bit of Russian armor. Here's our T-34-76.
Yep.
And T-34-85 in the background.
Mm-hmm. You can tell the difference between the huge turrets. One with only the two people, and the second you can throw the three people all into it.
Yeah, they definitely realised what they were doing there. Yeah. Sorry, can we just go back one photo? What's up with the Parisian apartments?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think it was explained, but it was the backdrop at this particular point in the museum.
So if you want to stay the night in the museum,
you can book into the accommodation in the background.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
Well, we're making that up. We don't know.
No, yeah, definitely.
Panther.
And there we got a Panther.
Yeah, and they're saying that's a real Panther?
It looks real.
It looks pretty real.
Yeah.
That's not a British fighting vehicle with stuff tacked on. That's
actually that's the real McCoy.
The tracks look real.
Yeah, and I'm trying to see how many road wheels it's got. Maybe 18 to a side, or
yeah. I mean they're interleaved, and I mean it's that classic German thing with the where it kicks up at the front. That's quite distinctive. Anyway, lovely.
So that's a nice exhibit.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's something, a little Vidal Tempo G1200, which is maybe a little out of place, but it's sitting there, and that's a nice exhibit.
Nice little staff car. I'm just thinking with the Panthers, didn't the Brits keep the assembly line going after the war and make a few of their own?
Yeah.
Maybe Jordan bought one of those for some cash in the 50s.
Well, the King of Jordan's building $1 billion museum. He can afford to buy some tanks off the market as well. But
True.
Yeah.
And we come to our SU-100.
Ah, yes, as the bad guy in the Tiger, the final boss. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which I got to say, I was not that familiar with the SU-100 until I watched that movie.
I mean, it's such a long barrel. I'm used to the 152, which is quite a short barrel, but such a big.
Well, it's an anti-tank piece, isn't it? It's high velocity. It's not the biggest caliber. 100 millimeters isn't that impressive, but you put it through that length, it's coming out fast.
Then it's impressive.
Yeah.
So I think this is probably ex-Egyptian.
Yep.
And then one of those French half-tracks that the Germans pressed into service, a Unique P107.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
And then we get to a Tiger replica.
Tiger replica.
Yeah, okay.
Once again, advertised as or written up as a tiger, but clearly
the
not.
turret and the barrel and so forth, that looks pretty good. It's just
Look at the
Let's wait till you go down
look at
to
those
the road
weird
wheels.
road wheels.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to look at the hull of the road wheels, but the actual turret and
the turret's looking good. The rest of it is
seems to be missing the first third of the tank.
It looks like a Doctor Who set from the 1970s, doesn't it? And that front sprocket is an atrocity.
Yeah.
And the gap between the first and second road wheels.
That's not good. But,
No.
but yeah. Anyway,
No interlead road wheels.
If I was building a replica from scratch, I reckon I could.
You do better.
I don't know if I could do better, but I'd like to do better.
And then from the large to that's that unique half track again, to the small, a little Goliath. Yeah.
Mm.
Every tank museum's got to have a Goliath, John. We know that. Right?
Nicholas Moran does like to make fun of the fact that for a suicide bomb, there's a hell of a lot of them still in museums.
So there's your token Goliath,
mm-hmm.
and that's the back end of the SU-100.
Okay, nice.
And then we have our trio. What have we got? A BMW R75, Kugelwagen, and then a Schwimmwagen.
There we go.
Just once, I want to see a Schwimmwagen swim. Like I've been to a few places and seen them running around, and there's normally a pond or something. It's like, come on, just get in there.
I'd like to see the one in Cairns swim.
I was about to say, see if we can outrun
the crocodiles.
Yeah. The crocodiles.
This was interesting for me. This is what's known as a Wagner. It was Jordan's first armoured vehicle.
Right.
So,
it's got a Lewis gun on the back.
It's got some sort of turret on top as well, but yeah. Okay.
Probably with the Vickers in there.
Mm-hmm. I like how they're wearing their
dish dash,
their headgear. Yeah. But,
so we have a forward pickup with it. What's that? Also a Lewis gun.
Yep.
And there's a series of armoured cars now. Here we have a Marmon Harrington without a turret.
The British truly built an enormous number of terrible armoured cars.
So, were these South African?
No.
Designed and built?
No,
am I mistaken? No?
I think you got South Africans coming up later on.
Okay.
I saw that.
Anyway, Jordan.
I don't know where these Marmon things come from, but I'm assuming they're.
So Jordan used these post-war to tow artillery, and they used them as troop carriers.
Yep.
And here's another Marmon Harrington, Mark IV with a turret, also used by Jordan from the 40s until, I think, 1962, early 1960s.
And just remember, they were having issues with internal populations of Palestinians,
angry Palestinians,
and so forth. So they were having to deal with situations.
And something I hadn't heard of before, an Otter. Canadian light.
Just go back
recon
to that
car.
Otter if you could, please. So what I'm seeing there is that's a V-shaped hull. I presume decades before the South Africans supposedly invented it. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
There's another image of the Otter.
That will diffuse a mind blast, I'm guessing. But anyway, yeah.
And this is another Jordanian. It's a Ford CMP with a 17-pounder. And I kind of think the poor chassis, because Jordan used these until, I think it was the mid-1960s. And so...
Well, it's a good gun.
It's a good gun.
If it's mobile enough, then great.
And it can actually take the recall of the 17-pounder.
I like how the driver's set up just like in an Archer, ready to
drive away.
Yeah.
That's another shot.
Lots of jerry cans.
Well, you're going to need a lot of fuel to lug that gun around, so yeah.
British Humber armoured car.
Yep.
Followed by our Archer.
Finally, the Archer.
So,
that's a vehicle we are going to need to do an episode on soon, I think. But yeah.
So what? Egypt got 200 after the war. So there's plenty of them in the Middle East, bouncing around the place. That's our Archer.
So we've got our Archer. 17-pounder gun in a Valentine. Facing backwards. Just a genius little bit of design by the British in that moment, being like, we want to get the 17-pounder in a self-propelled chassis, and we've got the most reliable tank chassis, certainly that the British have ever produced. I think the Valentine was actually more reliable than the Sherman. We'll
mate them together.
And put it backwards so that when we're firing out of ambush, the driver's just pulling straight out of the position. It's fantastic vehicle.
And next is our Charioteer.
Oh, one of the worst tanks in history.
Can we get the biggest gun we've got onto a tank hull? And
it's a Cromwell chassis, isn't it? With a bigger gun on it.
With a much bigger gun. Anyway, these were unloaded, shall we say, onto Jordan in the mid-1950s.
Well, and the Jordan Legion, which was all British officers, and Yep.
So a nice side view.
The silhouette looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a good-looking tank.
A great big barrel.
There's no armor on it, but it looks great.
Looks great. And here's our Marmon Harrington.
Yeah.
And this time with a 3-point-inch howitzer.
Now we've done some research in our little break there and found out that yes, it was a South African tank. They made almost 6,000 of them from 1940 to 1942. They were used by mainly South African troops, but they also by pretty much every other Commonwealth nation. And they were just used everywhere.
That's a lot of production for South Africa in that period.
For a country like South Africa, it's impressive.
It was impressive. No, that's why quite astounded when I started looking it up. And as you can see, it was a Ford 4x4. And they just chucked on some armor plates and whatever else they can get on top of it.
But to be able to stuff a decent-sized howitzer on the top's an impressive feat in itself, too.
And used up until the 90s.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
South Africa's never thrown anything away. That's why they're still running Centurions.
Yeah. And Daimler Dingo.
The
Dingo.
That shit's Dingo.
And this was also used by Jordan up until, I think, from, 1950s, thereabouts.
You know, the more we go through this, the sadder I feel for Jordanians having all this crap from Britain dumped on them.
That's what the officers know how to use.
Yeah.
And a universal carrier.
Yep.
And here we go. It should be another Marmon Harrington. Here we go. A Mark IV.
Oh, look at the
bigger turret.
What's got that? It's a 75?
It's got a big muzzle brake.
It's a big gun. But anyway, the Jordanians used these until early 1960s.
Yeah.
I'm informed. Another British vehicle, the Saracen.
Yep.
The riot breakers in Northern Ireland.
Yes, indeed. Something more familiar. The M4 Sherman.
75.
Turning to American armor.
Yep.
Here we have M47 Patton.
That's a big tank, isn't it?
And these replace the Charioteer.
Oh, okay.
and the Shermans.
Can you imagine the celebration in the unit when the Charioteers got wheeled away and then these things came in?
And these arrived, yeah.
What do you mean we've got a turret with armor on it?
Lots of armor.
And it's a nice display, yeah.
Yeah.
And now an M48 pattern. I'm not sure the difference between the M47 and the M48 patterns as they were described.
The M48s were much more reliable and better gun. They got the 90mm gun.
Well, they got the muzzle brake on the end of it as well, but yeah.
But the main thing is they were just much more reliable. The 46 and 47s.
Did they move to diesel?
They started out with petrol and then they went to diesel, but that was not until the M60 came along. But I would still say my most impressive thing with the M48s was when they opened up the factory. They started building the factory, and 12 months later they had tanks coming out of the factory in the 50s.
Yeah.
So
that's an achievement.
That's the industrial capacity of just saying, you know what, we're going to break ground in this factory and start having tanks come out within the next 12 months.
Can do. And Jordan used these in the 1967 Six-Day War. So
That didn't go very well for them, but anyway.
Yeah, but they got a nice little backdrop.
They
showing them in use.
From the Yom Kippur, because after the 6 Day War, they said, you know what? We don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
We want to be on the winning side from now on.
Yeah, and the winning side is the side that doesn't get into the war normally.
Yeah.
So another US vehicle, Jordanian service.
Your Duster.
This is the M42 Duster.
Yep, so it's an ACAC mount we're looking at. Given that it's pointing at the sky, you don't need to be a genius to know that's anti-air, but yeah. I'm impressed by these dioramas. They put some work into this, haven't they?
Well, once again, when the King was a tanker with deep pockets.
Yeah, I'm just saying some people got paid a lot of money to help make this
put
museum.
This together.
Yeah.
Oh, when you've got a
now we got a proper tank. Look at that piece of.
It's a Centurion.
Yeah,
but,
the greatest tank the British ever made, or anyone ever, really. But yeah.
I'm just thinking, with you, if you've got a nobility in your country, and most of them are going off to England to get their arts degrees or military education or whatever else, and they come back to Jordan and say, "Well, I'd like to do something," and you can put them to work as curating museums.
Look, I think I've mentioned this in the podcast before, but I did have a girlfriend in the distant past who had. Been at boarding school and come out of the shower with a towel wrapped around herself and bumped into the King of Jordan.
She didn't marry him.
No.
Supposedly, I'm told that the Queen of Jordan's one of the most beautiful world leaders in the world, type thing.
Yeah, well,
yes.
Queen Radio, I think. Anyway, let's
anyway, we digress. We digress. Anyway,
I thought the King was a paratrooper rather than a tank.
Well, they've moved on.
All right.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Anyway, to be confirmed.
The King my ex bumped into in a towel was a long distant one. He looked like Sean Connery, but anyway, that's.
So the Centurions in Jordanian service, they fought the Assyrian T-55s in 1970, and also the Israelis in the Golden Heights in the 1973 war.
That would have been very confusing. There'd been a lot of Centurions running against each other, but
I don't think they were in the 70th Yom Kippur War. They were definitely in the Black October, Black whatever, 1970 Palestinian revolt, whereby the Syrian T-55s pretended to be
Palestinian
tanks that came rolling over and did very well until things
anyway,
they got all
that's a nice Centurion.
Yes.
Let's proceed. Yep. Ooh.
So an M3 half-track.
Yeah.
Probably ex-Israeli captured.
Yeah, okay.
I hazard a guess. And then followed by one of my favourites. There's the Centurion again.
Yep.
A Super Sherman.
Super Sherman.
Ooh. Look at the gun on that.
So 105.
How do they even balance the breech on that in the turret? That's crazy.
Is it 90 or 105?
I always thought there was 105, but they upgunned them several times, I believe.
Oh, okay.
That looks like a 105, but I'm just eyeballing it. So, yeah.
I thought they were 90s, but no.
It's a big gun, anyway.
much bigger than a 76 that you normally put on a
75, but yeah.
Okay,
76. Anyway, cool, nice one.
Yeah.
That's still the Super Sherman?
That's the Super Sherman?
Yeah, because that turret bustle, that's straight out of the M10 as well. Yeah, that's cool.
So British Saladin? Saladin.
That's how Australians say it. But,
it's a big turret to put on a
76 mil gun on it.
A bit of a composite shot.
Oh, no, it's APCs. Okay, yep.
There we go.
And there we have our AMX-13, and we saw that oscillating turret mounted with that Sherman earlier on,
I'm
back in Alamein.
Circle on that.
Frenchie.
Okay, some Soviet-era armour. We have a T-55.
100 mil gun.
Followed by a T-62.
Yep.
115.
Beautiful. Such an important tank. Anyway, yep.
And
are those swing fire missiles?
No, they're Russian.
Okay.
That's your BRDM-2
Amphib, reconnaissance vehicle. Yeah.
That's a lot of missiles for a recon mission.
So there'll be some sort of Russian anti-tank missile.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, yep. Cool.
And now we come to our M60A1.
Yep. Wow, this museum is good.
It goes on and it goes on.
Yeah, it's just here's some Soviet stuff, here's some American stuff, here's some British stuff.
Well, I guess because they're all being bought and used by all the countries around them, and look, Jordan's probably had some of the best relations of the Arab nations with the Israelis for quite a long time. So they're getting anything and everything, even if they did capture a few in the 67 war.
Anyway, I do love that xenon spotlight built into the turret. Up until they figured out that not shining huge lights across the battlefield was a good idea.
Not a good idea.
Yeah.
So obviously the M60 was used by Egypt, Turkey, and Israel. So
still in use by plenty of other places. Taiwan.
They really need some better armor, don't they?
I thought this was interesting. I hadn't seen one before. It's an M52 self-propelled howitzer.
Yeah, right.
And Jordan used these in multiple engagements against Israel.
Right.
And I think some 600 made, but I hadn't seen one before.
Yeah.
It's a short-barreled howitzer. You'd say it's probably, what, a 105? But yeah, so just put it in a turret and make it self-propelled. There you go.
I mean, it's interesting that it's got serious cupolas on it and periscopes and vision blocks in there. It's so it's not just an SPG. It's obviously meant to get a little more down and dirty than that. But yeah, cool. Okay. What do we got there?
That's our M48 again, or another M48.
I was going to say that looks like an L7 gun, but
that's our Centurion again.
Yeah.
So we've skipped. So
there's the M48. Sorry, I was reading the notes.
Yeah. Don't break the fourth wall, Rob.
For the most part, they're fine, but there's a few aberrations here and there. So there's a Centurion.
Yes, that's a Centurion.
And that's back to our M52 self-propelled howitzer. And
they've done the cutting the tank in half.
Yeah, it's always impressive to see a section tank.
Yeah. I mean, Bovington's got, I think, a Centurion that they've cut in half, and everyone walks through the middle of it, which works really well. I would have liked to have been there the day they got out the gas axe and actually chopped through the things.
Try to do it.
That would have been a very long job.
Find out whether or not there was any rounds left at the bottom of the
And here's a video. Can we?
Yeah, you
this work? Can we show this?
Yeah. So what is the vehicle we're looking at?
So once again, this is that sectioned M48.
Ah, right. Okay.
It's probably the better side with the power plant.
The engine, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Driver's position.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
It's actually, I mean, every tank museum probably should have at least one section tank because it's so important to give members of the public a sense of just how cramped they are.
Just how cramped, yeah.
Even though they look so big, they are very small inside.
So a section Scorpion?
Right. Multiple section tanks, okay.
Oh, no, that's Scorpion. Scorpion's the open-topped anti-tank gun the US built in less on.
The British Scorpion.
Yeah.
Right, I'm thinking American M56.
Which is a CBRT, basically, isn't it?
Well, let's move along, actually.
What do we got there?
Chieftain.
That's a Chieftain, but in Jordanian service, it was known as the Khalid. So Chieftain Mark V.
It's a bit confusing with the Pakistanis having a Khalid as well. Yeah, okay. Cool.
Yes, Khalid.
I mean, look, whatever else you want to say about Chieftain, it had the most beautiful turret that anyone ever made. But yeah,
with that helicopter.
I still reckon that's a Super Cobra.
Yeah.
But
Could well be.
Yeah.
The round sides.
but if for the aviation nerds out there, just send us an email and let us know what we got. But,
and that's a nice overview of the museum.
yeah, right.
Mm.
I mean, Bovington wishes it had this kind of money spent on it, doesn't it?
And what's some more? There's a walkway which you can walk up to a little cafe,
Mm-hmm.
and these are just some shots looking down, just to give you an idea of the scale of this museum, just how large it is.
Mm-hmm.
The greyhounds.
Yeah, we've got a steakhound and
Greyhound.
we'll, yeah. So anyway,
Soviet things.
once again, the mystery helicopter, it's a Centurion. Anyway, this is sort of it's an SD KFZ 221, and I thought Cairns was the only museum in the world to have one when they restored theirs recently.
Right.
So,
As in the anti-aircraft version.
as in this particular German armored car.
Oh, okay.
Well, there you go. There's always another one out there somewhere.
So, who knew? But it's another shot. So, yeah, maybe someone can enlighten us whether that's original, whether that's.
I thought they said there's the SDKFZ 221. Theirs was their anti-aircraft one was the only one that was around. But could be wrong.
Anyway, it jumps in places because we come back to another
Dingo.
Daimler Dingo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I always like a Locust. Yeah, the airborne tank, the M22.
Yeah, I mean,
The Egyptians got it. Oh, okay.
So the Egyptians use these, and
So
and the Arab-Israeli war.
So yeah, the Americans
incredibly
actually,
light tank, an air mobile tank, which obviously
was actually made for being air mobile, which
Yeah.
is the Tetrarch wasn't. It was just a light tank. Or was it the other way around?
I mean, they were both designed to fit in gliders, but yeah, it's a classic thing with light tanks, though, isn't it? That if they can get to a place where there's no other armor, then they're great.
Madagascar.
If they have to mix it up with anything that's heavier, then they're stuffed.
Yeah. And a side view of the Locust,
Mm-hmm.
and a little Russian BA-64 scout car.
Yeah,
So
right.
this is kind of the armored car section that we're entering into now. And a stakehound.
Yep. Very nice.
Oh, okay. So now this is a tank destroyer
Tank
hull.
destroyers. This is great.
Right. So tank destroyers got their own hull.
Mm-hmm.
So we start off with a Stug 3.
Sure.
An interesting camo pattern, and
It looks very authentic, though, in that it looks like something someone in the field was just got out the airbrush and went jig, 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 jig.
Dab, 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 dab.
Stug 3. And then we come to a M36 tank destroyer, which you covered recently.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's labeled as a jugged Panther. And once again, it's obviously a replica.
Yeah.
And
Again, the road wheels are crazy wrong, but yeah.
and the front drive sprocket.
Yeah.
So,
They must have had a job lot of those crappy little front sprockets that they just stuck on all the replicas they were churning out.
anyway, this is the real deal. SU-152.
I love I love the Russian muzzle brakes with all the slots in them. Apparently, they weren't very good, and that's why they moved to more conventional muzzle brakes down the road. But they
big,
look
beefy,
they look like something out of Flash Gordon with all those slots in the end of the muzzle brake, and
big beefy gun, big beefy turret. No, sorry, casemate on it.
yeah, I just love the idea of the Russians being like, yeah, we're just going to turn out a crap ton of really big guns that can trundle around.
We point them towards the enemy as long as they're in front of us.
And having seen one in Cairns, it's such an impressive vehicle.
Mm-hmm. It's basically a KV-1 with stuff built over it, though, isn't it?
Yeah. And our M10 tank destroyer.
Wolverine.
It's a funny angle on that, but yeah.
It had a lid on it, so it had a little roof on it.
Yeah. Now, what do we got here? That's a very interesting camouflage pattern as well.
So a tow missile launcher on a M901 ITV, which I'm not really familiar with.
It looks like an M113 variant, but
and those camouflage patterns look a bit like from Space Invaders.
They do look like Space Invaders.
It looks like an early form of digital camo, which is totally a thing. Yeah, I mean, cool.
Yep, those are definitely from Space Invaders.
And Germany's post-war tank destroyer, the Jagdpanzer Cannon, a 90mm gun.
Yeah, okay. I would have sold that to the Swiss as well or something.
And
I am assuming, and speaking of Swiss, that's an ex-Swiss, so that'd be a G13.
All of the Hetzers in every museum is a Swiss G13.
No,
okay, not all of them, but a lot of them are.
Cairns one was a Hetzer that was
sold to the Swiss,
and then reconfigured as a
and then reconfigured back to
a proper Hetzer.
Hetzer. So yeah.
And this is a favourite. Like,
the
look at this
monster.
The thing.
Yeah. I mean, people are, RoboCheck was so imaginative. It's like, no, they just
look at this.
They just looked at what was happening in Vietnam. I mean, it's like the control centers, that the Americans had in their bases with just the set of Star Wars. I mean,
the 6 106 recoilless rifles and the 6 50 cal spotting rifles, and having to keep them all aligned. And
more the point, some poor bugger has to get out and load them manually on the outside of the tank.
And as I understand it, the U.S. Army said no, but the Marine Corps actually put those into.
Well, if you're just giving them away, we'll take them, right?
But they were extremely effective in Vietnam in the infantry support role. They trundled along, and if you needed 6 shots in a hurry,
it's a fearsome looking weapon.
And the main thing is for Vietnam,
they were firing beehive rounds as well. It cleaned out the jungle in a.
But they were nice and light. They can get where you needed them to be. And it's not like there was a lot of other tank-on-tank combat.
You do have the issue with recoilless rifles, which is what these are, in that they need twice as much propellant because they're recoilless because they blast out the back as fast as they blast out the front. And the world basically said, we're not spending that much money on propellant. But for a while, they were pretty cool.
So I love the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like a Chaffee, and then 24, the voting machine, as you call it.
With that hexagonal front plate's really recognisable, yeah.
But this is the Norwegian upgrade.
Okay.
An NM116.
Mm-hmm. Just want to defend ourselves. We didn't call it the voting machine. Other people called it the voting machine.
Yeah, one of the S tanks of the British service. You're saying it's a scimitar.
A scimitar.
So it's got the 30mm Radan, you want to say?
That looks bigger than a 30, but I could be wrong.
No, I think it's just the angle we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And a German Schützenpanzer.
Oh. So what is this? Because it looks like it's an APC with a moderately big gun on it, but
as I understand it, it was a French vehicle that the Germans modified as a recon vehicle.
Yeah,
right.
So, precursor to the Weasel, maybe.
Yeah,
because it looks very
heading in that direction.
Because the turret and the size of the gun makes it look like a lot like a Weasel. It's just the hull is 3 times as big as a Weasel.
Cool.
And some Soviet vehicles.
Yeah, terrible
BMP-1.
Yeah.
Jordan, along with a whole host of other countries.
I like how they went with the Space Invaders camo and a log, which is always a nice piece of Russian technology.
They painted the log.
The log is painted to match, which is great. I'd love to see how the paint on the log holds up to actually being used as the log to pull under the tracks to get it out of it.
And the amphib, the PT-76.
One of my favourite tanks. Yep. Great vehicle. What do we got there?
Another split in half.
Another section tank.
Wow, they've really had the gas axe out, haven't they?
Haven't they?
They're just chopping things all over the place.
That looks like the M48 in section.
I'm impressed. I'm interested that they didn't want to go.
On turrets.
They were not willing to go through the mantlet, but yeah, that's really cool. And the what we now think of as a remote weapon system up the top, obviously it wasn't a fully remote one, but yeah,
that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a vehicle that has no ID in the museum. So one is left to ponder.
It's from a Zionist entity that is not recognised formally by Jordan.
What was the macabre?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's macabre.
Yes.
2 or 3?
2 or 3.
Mm.
And then this is the Cold War hall, and very poorly lit, so I apologise for the quality of the photograph.
But you can still see the ERA on the T-64.
On the T-64. And a chieftain?
Yep, another chieftain. Okay.
And just to break it up, there's some spy material. So here we have, I think it's a shoe with a radio transmitter and a camera. It's very Get Smart. And a cigarette pad that's a camera. Just to sort of bring to life the Cold War
walking around on a shoe that if anyone looked at would get you killed.
The lipstick was microphone, probably?
Yes.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And then back to tanks and a T-54.
Yep.
Followed by M41 in another nice diorama, nice setting.
They've really gone to a lot of effort to set the scene with these vehicles.
They have.
Yeah. Some history PhD has just had the score of a lifetime helping set this thing up.
Yep.
But yeah.
Here you have an unlimited budget. Just go forth and and here's a M48.
Mm-hmm.
And followed by a Soviet IS-3. Also, always an impressive vehicle.
Very nice.
Yeah, with the beaky hull.
Mm-hmm. I think they called it a pike hull, but yeah. Anyway,
Beaky.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a pike
I mean, it wasn't a great tank, but my lord, it was impressive.
Scared the West.
And the British chariot, the Conqueror.
Yeah, right. That's wow. That is a rare beast. Okay.
The first 120, was it?
Yeah, but also, you know, this whole thing being terrified of the Russian heavies, even when the Russians said, no, heavies are stupid. We're just going to build medium tanks in future, and that whole last generation of stupidly large Western tanks trying to chase phantoms. But yeah, beautiful running lines. Okay, what do we got there?
Another photo of the charioteer.
Okay.
Different angle.
The Conqueror.
The Conqueror, I beg your pardon. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, once again, such an impressive vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And then we come into another hall. This is the MBT hall. So we've left the Cold War behind.
Yep.
And
where are we now?
The MBT hall.
Oh.
It's the MBT hall, and this is a Swedish. Help me here. Stridsvagn M42.
So is this our M42 from Girls and Panzer fame, or no? They had a bigger gun, didn't they? Because the M42 was the captured BT-5 that the Swedish then put a whatever big gun in it.
Anyway, we're not going to resolve this now, so let's just
So he's the token Swedish tank, and then we have
Cuirassier.
Yes, yeah.
Mm.
Oh, so it's the Austrian version. Okay.
Yeah. So Cuirassier was an Austrian vehicle, but yeah.
They were the French ones, right?
Followed by a Japanese Type 61.
That's a rare beast.
It is, yeah.
Look at the hatch on top of that, cupola.
Yeah.
That's
It's a very strange turret design. With a huge muzzle brake and the bore. Can we go back? Because the bore extractor right down hard up against the muzzle brake is an interesting choice that you don't normally see. And then that weird cupola that looks like it could fit 3 Japanese people in it. And that huge turret bustle. It's wild.
It's an interesting tank.
Yeah. I'm sure every part of it had some reason for it, but yeah.
And a Russian T-72,
yeah.
which you rode in last year.
T-72, and I've got inside word Laserpig's about to eviscerate the T-72. It's causing panic in certain circles.
So the updated Jordanian Centurion that they used until I think 2001, and they refer to this tank as a Tariq.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Not one of the ones they converted into an APC that I think they made 4 demonstrators of. Yeah.
And the American M60.
Boy, yeah.
And then the Italians are on the scene with a Centauro.
That doesn't look like it has the 120. Looks like just the 105.
Look at the muzzle brake on that, though. It's like a beehive. I would love to see that firing. That would be everything going everywhere. Yep.
So the Jordanians have been using these since 2020. So.
Okay.
Goodness, what is that?
So this is a Swiss tank destroyer.
Right, and it's not a G13/Hetzer. It's
a Mowag Pirat. Excuse my pronunciation, but
right.
Yeah. I hadn't seen one of those before.
No,
that's
with a 90mm gun. It's a funny little thing, isn't it?
Again, a weird muzzle brake. They must have a thing for that.
This is one of their challenges.
Known as the Al Hussein in Jordanian service.
Cool.
And back to our
designed entities unnamed vehicle.
Indeed. And our Leopard 1.
It's a funny looking Leopard 1, isn't it? What's going on there? Anyway, yeah, lovely tank.
Followed by a French AMX 30.
Oh, wow, okay. They really do have a wide selection of pretty much everything, don't they?
Oh, the MBT hull. It's another impressive hull. And
that's your Vickers.
The Vickers, which you covered not so long ago.
A couple of episodes ago. Yeah.
For those who didn't want the Challenger, you bought a Vickers.
Oh, Centurion.
And Centurion, the Mark 1 with the, 17 pounder?
17 pounder in the Mark 1. Yeah.
And a Brazilian armored car. A
Cascavel
armored car?
Yeah, Cascavel. Yeah.
Cascavel.
Portuguese.
Oh, yeah.
And something we saw up in Cairns last year.
It's the Panhard.
Yeah, the Panhard.
And that's that middle wheel can lower down to add more traction. That's crazy. Yeah.
Greyhound?
Sorry, yeah.
Yep. You and I rode in?
The Greyhound.
We did ride in one of these.
Greyhound, which never actually killed a tiger. That's a lie.
That's a Furphy.
Yeah. It might have been a Stug 3 that they thought was a tiger.
Mind you, everything was a tiger.
When you're in a Greyhound and you kill a German tank, you
killed a tiger. No. So that's the inside. So we've pretty much covered every vehicle in the interior of the Royal Jordanian Tank Museum. And actually, I tell a lie, that's a Staghound. And that's the thing. Panhard. And these were the only other visitors to the museum on the day that I visited.
Right.
So, and outside, our Chieftain Khalid.
It's in Mark 5, yeah.
It's an impressive building, housing an impressive display.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is go to Jordan and check out the Tank Museum. Let's face it, if you've watched this video, you're into tanks.
Yeah.
So well worth a visit.
All right. Okay. That's the end of.
No, we've got a few more.
Have we?
We have an M47 Patton. We have another Turek.
Yeah.
And
Swiss Panzer. No, hang on, that's Patton.
Patton.
Yeah.
And then
that's a
Panzer. Swiss Panzer 62.
Here we go. Here's the Swiss Panzer 61.
61.
Even though it's got American. No, that's got to be a.
No, that is the M60. Isn't? That's the Swiss.
That's got to be a pattern. That's got to be some sort of pattern with the
Xenon light.
Yeah. Here we go.
That's got to be the Swiss Panzer.
Here we go. The Swiss Panzer 61, and
that looks
another
Russian, doesn't it?
T-34-85.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
that's it. We're at the end of the display.
Here we go.
Woohoo!
So
thank you all for sticking with us.
And thank you, David, for walking us through this absolutely fascinating excursion through the world of tanks.
it's an amazing museum, and actually the beers we're drinking are also not too shabby either. And it's an amazing sight to be drinking in the old Canberra Inn, which is such a great pub.
Yes.
And so, all things considered, it's actually pretty good. And should you find yourself in Jordan, do drop in.
Or if you're in Canberra, old Canberra Inn. But
old Canberra Inn.
All right. Thanks all.
Thank you, folks.